So this is one car that I've owned for a really long time. Well, long time for me, because I usually phase out my cars really quickly. And this video has been pretty much in the making for the longest time. I've said, hey, I'm going to make a video about this. And the reason that there's a video being made about this is because it's up for sale. It's up on the chopping block. So ultimately, this will be probably like a twofer video. So it's going to be, in case anybody wants it, I'm putting it on YouTube. But then if nobody wants it and, you know, unrealistic numbers or offers get made, then this is going to go up on Cars and Bids. So it's like, in case nobody buys it on YouTube and somebody on Cars and Bids wants to see what it's all about, this is a video for it. So yeah, this will kind of be just in general, I guess you could say, a cold start video. And then I'm going to go over the entirety of this car and really nitpick everything. The thing that I guess I get a lot of, like, people love and some people hate, but hey, this is my vehicle that I've owned since it was imported here to the United States. So let's just give you the full experience of what this really is all about. So that's it starting up. And I just realized there's either door open or the light was left on. Let's go find out. So it wasn't the door. Let's see if that shuts them off. It seems to have shut it off. Okay. All right. So enough dilly-dallying. Let's get to it. Let's make this video of this car. I will say that I am 100 million% biased when it comes to this car. So you will get the truth from me. But just keep in mind that we've had this car, I think, almost 2 years now. And yeah. Listen, the only reason that we're venturing to sell the dang thing is because it's not even the dang thing, this car, because it's really truly Megan's baby, is because we want to fund the next one. And Megan wants the older, I want the older one too, and so does Megan. And so that's really why we're getting rid of it, because we want the older square look of the Prado. And I just think it's a cool car, and that's really what we want. And then we're trying to make sacrifices too. The reason being is we're also going to get rid of it so that we can go to Japan, and so this will fund the Japan trip. So if you're watching this and you're wondering why is Mendy selling it, it's really because I want to fund a way for us to get to Japan. So enough of this. I'll tell you more about it at the end, but let's get to the driving portion of it. So we're right into it. We're getting on the highway. You know, this is a full-size car. It's got a 3.6 V6 engine in it, and it's a gas engine. It's not the diesel. So if you were hoping for the diesel, you can click off the video now, because this is a gas. But I don't mind it. You want to know why? It's because there's still parts available for this car here in America, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But right now, this is way off, but it's saying 74 miles per hour. We're going at about 115 kilometers per hour right now, and we're climbing up to 120. This is usually off by like 3 or 4. So we're $120 right now, and we're still climbing. And let me be the first to say, this car will hit 100 miles per hour without any issue. Should it be going 100 miles per hour? I don't think so. I wouldn't particularly say that you should. It's perfectly safe and sound doing it, but look, it drives and rides really great. The tires on it are some BF Goodrich KO2s, which honestly, the most road noise you hear right now is because it's a very windy day here in Connecticut. But overall, for highway driving, you're coasting at $125 right now at 3,000 RPMs, and you're cruising. Right now, like I said, it's very loud because it's windy. Normally it's not this loud, and it goes straight. It goes great. I mean, there's divots here in this road, but for the most part, I really enjoy driving this car. I'm 6 feet tall, and it's very comfortable in here. I mean, it's still Japanese spec size car, so the pedals are usually a little bit closer to me, which is something I don't love. I mean, I don't hate it. It's not the end of the world, but it's just sometimes it kind of gets annoying when you're driving. But we're going to drive it through some back roads in just a minute. You're going to get to experience that, really know how it feels to own this Land Cruiser Prado. If you haven't driven a JDM before, I know people are like, oh, right-hand drive, this, that, and the other. Get over it. It's good. It's good for your brain, especially if you're getting older. If you're used to driving on the left-hand side and you start driving on the right, it'll help you with your Alzheimer's or what the potential might be in the future, because you're going to have to readjust. And the biggest readjustment that you have to do when you're driving right-hand drive is your blinkers are going to be here and your wipers are going to be here. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, gas pedal still on the right, brake still in the middle, and then if it had a clutch, it would still be on the left. And even the Prindle is still the same. The only thing that changes is obviously the button. But for everyday driving, which is what this car's for, this is the Mendy Mobile, so it carries my children, and my wife drives it on a daily basis. This car is perfect. And when I pull over and I show you the rest of it, you'll really understand why. But it handles curves really well. It's very planted to the ground. No reason to fear anything. In fact, this is more of a tank than anything else. You ride up a lot higher than you would on most vehicles, and so you can see you're up higher. Like a Nissan Rogue, I feel like you'll be closer to the ground. This, naturally, where the seat sits, the placement of it, you're a lot higher off the ground. When I go over everything on the outside, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about, but great ground clearance. I mean, if I can equate this vehicle to anything that's here in the States, I would equate it to a, what's that thing called? A 4Runner. That's the closest thing. That's really what they introduced in the States, were the 4Runners for us, and they never gave us the Prado for some dumb reason. I wish they did, because they're amazing cars, in my opinion. The newer ones are just, they're basically like GXs, basically GX 470s, I think it is, Lexus makes. But honestly, great car for what you get, and you'll hear me say that as a broken record throughout the entire video. Couple key features on this. This is an automatic transmission. It is a 4-speed transmission. You do have an overdrive button, if I'm not mistaken. It's located right there. There is a power, and then there is a second that if you wanted to do ECT power, that does it. And then this is to start in second instead of first when you need to not slip. And then you still have your Prindle for your 4-wheel drive. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but it's all-time 4-wheel drive, and then you have the ability to lock it into low and to high. I don't believe this model came with lockers. I don't see any buttons that would indicate that. What else can I tell you about it? Riding experience, it feels very smooth. I mean, it's a Toyota. They're meant to feel smooth. It's not like, you know, you're not riding a horse. You're inside of a very comfortable car. Even when we had the original snow tires that came with it from Japan, thing rode really smooth. Again, planted on the ground. You got some bigger tires, bigger rims, and naturally it's just really good. For the most part, it's pretty quiet. This is the one that comes with the sunroof model, so that's a really big plus. But when you drive to our location, you kind of get an idea of driving everyday stop and go traffic. It's really good. A notable thing is all the brakes have been replaced, both brake pads and rotors, both front and rear. As I'm driving, I'll tell you a couple notable features. This is a dual airbag, so you got a airbag on the driver's side and then an airbag on the passenger side as well, which is a big plus if you're looking for safety. You know, whether this is for you, a teenager, your wife, or your grandpa, your grandma, this is nice. The fact that it comes with airbags, which is a really big plus. All right, so what the heck is it? Well, here you have it. This is a 1998 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. And this, as I give you a walk around of it so you can kind of see it for yourself, this happens to be a rare spec model, and reason being is because it is the TZ. And you can often find the TZ, but you don't often find the TZ with the V6, which is what this is. And why that's significant? Well, they made this in different iterations. They made it with a 4-cylinder. They also made it with the famous diesel engine. I believe it was a 2.7 and then the 3.0 that they made it with, if I'm not mistaken. You can comment below and correct me if you're a Toyota enthusiast and know all about it. But this car has been with us, I believe, since March of 2024. Or no, maybe not March. I think it was February or January of 2024. I can look back on my records because it was imported. I imported this and I bought this from B Forward. It was on B Forward's website, and I bought it because I saw it. I was like, we got to have this. I think it was December of 2023. I was like, I told Megan, I was like, I found your car. She fought me tooth and nail. She didn't want this car. And then now we have it, and she doesn't want to get rid of this car. And truly, I don't want to get rid of it. But let's just kind of give you a walk around more of what you already saw when I started the video. By no means is this car perfect 10 out of 10 showroom worthy. But if I were to give it a Mendy score, if that makes any sense for you, I would give this car a solid 7.5, meaning with paint, with the body in general. And I'll show you why. I'm not afraid to show the imperfections. In fact, that's what I love to do here on this channel. I love for you to see anything and everything that I see with my eyes, just in case you're not here physically doing this, touching the car and seeing the car and seeing how it feels. So you really get an idea of what it is that you're going to buy or potentially bid on or potentially see for yourself. So if we start with the front end right away, the bumper by no means is perfect. I mean, there's rock chips here and there, especially around this light bezel you can kind of see, and there's scratches. Kind of the normal wear and tear you see on a painted bumper. Overall, still in pretty great shape. The only one thing that I saw earlier today besides this, which is kind of like a deeper scratch, and around this bezel was this. I don't know if that was with us. You can see the spider cracking, or if that was with someone else. Well, in Japan, I really don't know. And that's a little bit of the clear coat actually peeled up there. So that's the worst of it on the bumper. And then you can still see scratches, but from this distance, you couldn't even tell the difference. It is an authentic JDM glow plate, which will come with the vehicle. That's part of the sale. It does, when you turn on the lights, it does function, it does work. It's got the standard headlights that they come. Some people opt to do the Toyota logo here, or like the word Toyota, and they swap out this grille and then they put the round lights. I thought that was cool. I didn't want to invest into that. It wasn't huge on our list. But then you also have this, which is your corner mirror, which once I'm inside I can show you what it's all about. But hood imperfection wise, you know, there is just little pits here and there. It's not the best. Again, when you're standing from back here, the only one you can really notice is that one right on the line, but for the most part you really don't notice it. And the car's been coated with a 5-year coating with Teggy from Teggy's Elite Detailing. So a lot of these things, like this is probably the worst one. You can see that there's a little bit of rust. When I put iron remover, it basically moves it all away. This, to me, is a newer one. You can kind of see that little dimple there. I'm not sure how we got that. It's probably an acorn or something that fell on it. But the hood, the other big imperfections is, I don't know what happened here. It feels like the clear coat's peeling a little bit. I don't know if that was some sort of sap at some point or something that sat there. But for the most part, that's a pretty nice reflection off of that hood. You can see that scratch right there. It was pretty big, probably the size of a dollar bill in length. Width is not very wide, but overall pretty good. The cowl area is good shape. There's probably notable scratches there. That was probably me during the winter that I accidentally did that, or somebody in Japan when they were scraping it. One of the biggest things that right off the bat I knew when I bought it from Japan, the automatic antenna that comes with it was broken. I'm not sure when it was broken. It came like that from Japan. Here's another one of those like spots. Can't really tell, but I think it is a clear coat that's kind of peeled away. And then the pillars, you'll notice that there is some scratches. But the antenna doesn't work. It's a system that's inside the fender that rolls the antenna up and down automatically. There is actually a button on the dash. For me, I never listened to the radio anyways, and either way, I would still get the stations that I would want. We have the A-Toto, which is a love-hate relationship with that radio, but I'll tell you all about it once we're inside. But the antenna never really bothered us to do anything with it. That's why it was never replaced, and it was just left like that. It does kind of look like it's pointed back a little, so maybe it got yanked out or yoinked out somehow. Fender flares are in pretty great shape, just obviously the notable things, little scratches here and there. Wheels, for the most part, the wheels and tires got a lot of life left to them. Shout out to Julio. Julio actually gave me these rims and tires. I don't have the original 16s that came with it. I actually gave those away to my contractor. I didn't want them in my garage anymore, and the 5th one didn't even match. And those were in okay shape, but they needed tires. But if we look at the date, if that's the date, or is that the date? They are DOT approved tires. They're from 2021, so they're still in good shape. They're BF Good Range all-terrain KO2s, which ride great, not loud at all whatsoever. And every 5,000 miles or whatever that equates to in kilometers, they were rotated. They were installed and balanced. These are authentic JDM wheels. They did come from Japan, and the tires themselves are as well. If we keep going to the middle of the vehicle, the driver's door itself, The mirror's in pretty good shape. There's a couple nicks here and there. Over time driving, that's what normally happens. The most annoying thing is, shout out to Patrick, because Patrick kind of put this together, because at some point, excuse me, they have these like little plastic rivets, which I'm sure I can try and find some plastic rivets, but it broke off at some point, and so it was flapping, and so he put this, it's almost like a wax dipped some sort of twine, and it holds it. Looks ghetto, but honestly you never really notice it until I point it out. Down here, the door, pretty good shape. You know, a couple dings there when you open the door and whatnot. And down below, you can tell when people get in and out, the normal places that you're going to lose paint. Running board on this side is in pretty good shape. Honestly, most people opt to get rid of the running boards anyways, and they just get their own running board, or don't even run running boards. They just get nothing. Edges of the doors. I have kids. Let me be the first to tell you that sometimes this is Grover's door. You can see this. This is probably one of the bad ones, but fender flares and the sides are in pretty good shape, with the exception of this. I've never really figured out what happened there. Again, having kids, that's what happens. These are also gigantors compared to some of the other ones that are usually just like that. All four are still intact, and all four are there. If we keep coming, nothing notable here that I would want to point out or show you. The roof itself is in pretty good shape. I'll show you a little bit more of that once I open the back door and get on top of there. But back here, still have the mud flaps all around, which is really nice. And this I did myself, and I'm so pissed off the way that I did it. Basically, when you come up to a pump, the pump's on the, you know, obviously it's on the left side over here to pump the gas, but I would reach the hose around, and the connector that connects the hose where the reach thing is, it basically, I nicked it without noticing. And one day I noticed it and I was like, what the heck? So yeah, those scratches are pretty deep. I'm sure some of them can probably buff out, but most of them are just pretty deep. Matching spare tire and rim, which is a huge plus. In my opinion, you can put rims and tires on a car, but if you have a fifth one that is exposed, if it does not match, then I think you're just a baloney fraud. Not really, but you know what I mean. This wheel, they all do have some sort of pitting going on to them. By no means are they perfect, and I don't know if I hit a rock or maybe somebody in Japan, but that's probably the worst of the nicks on these. Could they get powder coated and redone? Yes, but from this distance, they do not look bad. This one's another one that at some point it got nicked, and you could see, again, they could get repowder coated or polished and sanded down. Whatever you want to do with it, that's up to you. They never really bothered us. They held air and they look good, and that's all that mattered to us. Back here, the only thing that's bad is this sticker's peeling, and I've never brought myself to just like fully taking it off because I just don't want to expose potential of getting rid of any paint. It doesn't look bad. You can barely notice it. Still has from, I'm assuming the dealership it came from, and I don't know where that came from, but yes. Door swings open to the right, so it's a swing open door to the right. Back here, you're just going to have your normal wear and tear from putting bags in and out, or kids getting in, bikes going in, because there's been bikes there. On this side, the only notable thing is right here. It used to be a lot worse when I picked it up, but it got nicked here. So could that get repainted or touched up? Absolutely. Never really bothered me. Never really did anything wrong, so it just stays the way that it is. Same thing with this fender flare. You can see some of this stuff might actually, yeah, let's see, like this is coming off. I'm not sure, maybe it's just some tar. That's an actual scratch where the paint's missing. Overall, here's good. Let's open up the back and show you the roof so you get an idea of the roof. This door is super heavy, by the way. But if we get up on the roof is in pretty great shape, with the exception of this one line that goes here, and then a couple dimples there. So I'm not sure if the same dimples that this came from and this came from was what was done to the hood. Maybe in Japan it lived under a tree at some point, and you know, this was the remnants of bird poop or sap or something. Here's some pretty bad nicks as well. Again, nothing crazy. The car's been coated. It's been taken care of. As long as you're taking care of the paint, I wouldn't worry about this. Again, if you put some iron remover, most of that rust will come off. If you want to take a touch-up paint and touch it up, you definitely can. What's cool about these is it's got the gutter rack system. So you can add your own roof rack to this without having to put holes on your roof like some of them, the models that do come with it have. But you can attach your rack system to this. And so if you wanted to take it on and off, you could. I still have soap up here. But overall, pretty great shape as far as the door in the back goes. The backup, analog backup camera still works, which is really cool. I know often a lot of people lose this, but basically when you're looking at the back, you can adjust this so that you know when you're about to hit something. It's actually very, very useful. As long as it's positioned correctly, very useful. We keep coming around. This was Casper, or is Casper's door. So it doesn't get much used as far as this. Only Megan or I when we're getting the baby in and out of the car. Doors do take a little bit of, not slamming, but you do have to shut them so that they fully shut. This running board at one point or another must have snagged a rock or something because it was dented there and there. I tried to fix it as much as I could. It honestly doesn't look bad. Again, these are things that people decided, let me just get rid of it, let me remove it, and that's it. Rain guards still work, function. See, that's like the rivet that I was talking about. If I can find one, great. If not, that's how it's going to go. Mirror's in good shape. Passenger door, same thing, just a couple nicks here and there. Terrible of me that I didn't clean that up. Sorry, Teggy. But overall, pretty great shape. Same thing, nicks here and there from people getting in and out. Nothing crazy as far as rot or rust goes. I'll show you the underside in a little bit as well, but the only other thing was, you know, closer to these edges, you can kind of start to see some oxidation that I'm sure Teggy tried to hit and maybe wasn't successful at getting. It'll stay like that. If you want to get it fixed, you're more than welcome to. The only one other notable thing from the outside here that really drives me bonkers, I don't remember when it happened, but I remember when it happened, if that makes sense. It just sucks. But there's one rock chip right here. You'll see it a little bit more from the inside. The window is tinted, the front, so I believe that's 70%. This is 32%, and the rest are 20%. This is ceramic tint. You can tell by the blue hue that it has in it. Oh, not really because of the sky, but let's pop the hood so you can get a look underneath the hood. And to do that, it's pretty straightforward. You come in here. This is also where you pop the gas, so pop the hood there. Come over, flip the latch up, and then get up under here. One of my biggest pet peeves of owning a car is keeping the engine bay clean. For the most part, this stays clean unless I get neglected and I don't wash it, and that's what it was most of the time. Now that I got a pressure washer at home, I am able to wash it, which is really nice. At some point, I'm not really sure, you can translate that yourself and see what it means. That might be transmission fluid that they changed. The timing belt has been done. I'm not really sure as to when. If you can see that for yourself, maybe it's 11847 something. And then it has the date as well, which looks to be some sort of 1710 and then 2L. If you can tell what that is, they do recommend doing it every 100,000 kilometers. I'll show you what the current kilometers is, but I think it's like 223. I don't know if I will get to the timing belt, but what I will say is I will get the parts for the timing belt. Notable things: battery is a newer battery. It's actually an American battery. This came off of our CX-5. It worked perfectly fine. I did have to replace the alternator, so you could see that it does have American writing on it. This is a remanufactured one from Mexico. The really nice thing about this engine is a 3.4 4KM24 valve, which came on a lot of the Tacomas of this era, and also I believe the Tundras and the 4Runners. So this engine is very common. This airbox is a little bit different than some of them. Some of them are like the round one. This happens to be a really nice one to be able to replace your filters really easy. If I can do it one-handed, but just pop that open. I recently replaced this air filter not too long ago, so that's new. New oil change. I think we still have a couple thousand kilometers on it. I may do it before it leaves. No promises on that either. But overall, runs pretty good shape. Belts don't seem to have any grooves in the grooves or like V's or cracking or anything that would worry me. Runs and drives great. By no means is it the most perfect, but it's a Toyota. As long as you keep oil in it, keep gas, and change the oil every so often, this will run forever. I'll give you the VIN right here so you can get an idea of what the VIN is. And it's also going to be stamped somewhere. I don't know where. Sometimes it's on the same firewall, but I can't find it. So yeah, alternator, battery, and the starter has been replaced as well. That was kind of giving us some trouble a couple weeks ago. So that's been replaced. Oil change was done at the same time. new brakes all around. There's a whole video about that, but I have brand new brakes on there with warranty on them, which is a nice part. I don't know if that warranty will transfer to the new owner or not, but overall engine bay under here is pretty great shape. You know, there is some rust, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to lie to people, but it's just surface rust. You can kind of see peeking up in certain places and whatnot, but if you get this seal coated or fluid filmed, this will last forever. You can see the frame rails there, same thing back there. Overall in really great shape. I mean, the reason I bought this Prado to begin with was because it was in great shape and I wanted it as a daily driver. And despite the fact that it had higher kilometers, I didn't mind that. But let's get into the driver's side. I'll pull this key out because this will drive me nuts. It's this model, the TX or the TZ. Now you got me questioning it. The TZ is a rare spec model, and reason being is because it's all leather, it's fully loaded. So this driver's seat is power, the passenger seat is power, all the power windows, power mirrors, which is really cool. They fold and unfold, which is even cooler. It comes with this multi-informational thing where it's like a compass, and then it also has like pitch or gyroscope and all that. It did come with a CD player that I removed and unfortunately no longer have it. I know some people are like, oh, why would you get rid of it? Honestly, it was cleaning out my garage and I got sick of looking at this thing, so I ended up pitching it. Might have been the worst thing that I could have done, but it's no big deal. It currently has an A-Toto, which again, it's like a love-hate relationship with it. For the most part, when it works great. When it disconnects, it kind of just sucks. Megan has an iPhone, I have an Android. The Android works perfectly fine. The iPhone works perfectly fine. Occasionally here and there, it'll just disconnect and it's kind of a pain to reconnect. It did come with this faux wood grain that matches here, and on the doors there, it does have child window locks, child locks obviously, but everything is pretty much automatic. You have automatic AC. This is where the antenna would go up and down. It doesn't function anymore because obviously it got ripped off. Really cool clock. I've always thought these clocks kind of remind me of the Ford F-150, or not the Ford F-150s, but the Ford when they do the King Ranch. That's very similar logo. It reminds me of it for some reason. So doubled in, works great. You got a little stash tray. Sometimes we just keep like $5 in there just in case, or a couple coins here and there. You do have an ashtray. This was a non-smoking car, so it didn't smell like a smoker. What you see here is pretty cool. It's got two 12-volt outlets in it, which is cool. This one powers the Game Boy, which will come with the car as well. You can see the cord just kind of gettily run, and it just runs up there into here. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. If you don't know how to convert this, which I will say that I don't know how to convert it on the fly, this is great. It's off by like maybe 4-3 miles per hour. Then you have another outlet here. You have your Prindle, as I showed earlier. You have your power for transmission to start in second gear. What's really cool, heated seats as well, and they both function, and they will not burn your butt, but they'll be pretty hot, which is kind of crazy. What else can I show you that's notable? The sunroof works great. It opens. I guess we can open that up now. It has tilt, so it'll physically tilt, and then we can do slide. It's not automatic for some reason, but we'll slide it open, and then I'll show you the top. One notable thing is when you're looking at sunroof, if you're looking at sunroofs, make sure this isn't rotted out. And then same thing with the frame itself. If you pop up here, it never has really leaked for us, so the channels are nice and clear and clean. Obviously, I could clean this a little bit better, as you could see from right there, but opens up nicely. Nothing notable to say. I mean, for the most part, I know some people love sunroofs and some people hate sunroofs. I'm really indifferent about it. The fact that it came with it, I thought was really cool. Megan loves it. She's bougie like that, so it's great. We have the sun visors here for the driver, and then the sun visor here for the passenger with a mirror as well. One thing that I love to do on my JDM cars is I like to change it out because the mirrors on the back are usually pretty small. This kind of gives you a wider view that will come with the vehicle. What else? Surround sound, which is really great. You got a speaker there, probably a tweeter here, and then 2 more speakers in the rear. And I think it has some sort of bass. It sounds very nice. Obviously, I don't want to get demonetized when posting this video, so I'm not going to show you, but it sounds great. And I was the one that installed it. So radio's been installed. I didn't cut any harnesses or anything. I got adapters so that I could adapt everything to it. If we're looking at it, it's got 223,523,000 kilometers on it. I'll put what that is in miles. And in my opinion, these engines and these Toyotas are known to go over 1 million miles. You just have to upkeep them, basically. And it's been upkept. We've done services, like I've said. The next service is due at 227, 273. So we still got about, give or take, 4,000 kilometers on it before we have to do an oil change, or a little less than 4,000 kilometers. You have a glove box, which is really cool. Just keep all our junk in there. And then you do have a center console. This center console is kind of rare. It's got the stash part on the top, but then it also has this, so you can get to the bottom, which is really nice. Most of the time they don't have this. They just have the single one here. I will be the first to say Lola has scratched it up with her talons. It doesn't look as bad as it did before. I was able to clean it up a little bit with a torch, but it holds, which is also very important. What's really cool is it does have cup holders back here, hidden cup holders that people didn't know about. And then, yeah, this slides forward too. So if you need extra arm length up here, you can. This is interesting. I've never really tinkered with this, but yeah, it moves. I wonder if it needs tightening. I don't know if that's what it's trying to tell me, but it could be removed. You can have just nothing if you really want to, but those cup holders are key. It does have 2 cup holders here. Good for soda cans, and that's about it. You can flip that down and 2 soda cans fit here. Hydro flasks really don't fit unless you have the ones that are soda can size. Again, you have your 4-wheel drive Prindle, your regular Prindle. You have a little stash area back there, and then just little trays over here. Great for when you're charging your phone. You just put them down. If you're connected, it's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. They're all wirelessly, which is a nice thing. Again, 6 feet tall. I fit very comfortably in here. The bolsters on these seats hug me nice and well. There is the ability to do like the posture, which is nice. And this is as far back as it goes, which always surprises me that this is as far back as it goes. And Megan is a little bit shorter than me, but she can fit in here and it works perfect. Door card is in really great shape. And the way that they made them is actually quite beautiful. It's not crappy like a lot of the cars that you would see, but it's a 2-tone leather, which is nice. I will say that this is a little bit more faded than some of the other cars. I mean, it is leather, and so over time, getting in and out it's going to happen. Luckily, there's no rips or anything on it. Let's go to the back here. This is Grover's seating area. His door card is in pretty good shape still. Automatic windows in the back. You got a speaker. Back here, you can fit 4 people. 3 people. I fit 3 adults here. Not the most comfortable, but they fit. This is probably the worst of it. This is because of Lola and my own doing and my own fault. I really should have put a seat cover here to really preserve it, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. If I'm back here and I'm in my driving position, it's actually quite comfortable. I can really relax back here without any issues. It's fine. I mean, my knees would hit it, but luckily I'm able to open. If it's just 2 people in the back, it's not the end of the world. You can see this is the life of the reality of it. Grover's usually on a booster seat. His booster seat's been damaged, so we need to get a new one. But normally, Lola sits here, Casper sits here, and Grover sits here. And then Augie sits in the back. And you can see that Augie's booster seat's there. I think a drawback from cars from the late 90s, I think earlier 2000s, they started to implement this. You know, where here in America, we had the hooks so that you could hook the car seat up to it and then not have to use a seatbelt. Unfortunately, they did not come with this, so we do use the seatbelts for their seats, but they're secured. I mean, the front moves. There is a strap that you can put in the front. I don't think that there is a hooking point down here, but I feel safe enough where my kids, I don't think anything will happen to them. Knock on wood that that's the case, but like I said, this is a tank. Something that's notable about these, you got grab handles back here. You actually have 2 sets of grab handles, which is crazy. The driver only has the one up front, but then you also have your vents back here, which are really cool. And there's 4 vents throughout the top, and then there's just the feet vent. And then they do have controls back here for the passenger, so they can move their own. They can make it auto, high and low. They could turn on the fan, the rear heat, and you could put it to high or low, which is really cool. And then obviously adjust your heat to how warm you want it. There is an ashtray. The boys always kick it out for some reason, but luckily we found it. It's on there. Pockets are a little stretch, obviously, from using it. That's normal. I actually got this in Japan last time I was in Japan, which is really cool. Grover loves to use it. Getting sidetracked, but yeah, overall, still in great shape. Casper sits there, Lola sits here. Grover sits here, then we can go to the back. Still in great shape. I mean, I just vacuumed it. There's always going to be dust having kids. Carpets are the original ones, which are good, and I have all of them except the very rear. I don't know why it never came with it, but let's open that up. Open it up. Very heavy duty door. There is a locking feature here where you can get it to lock, so it keeps the door locked. Hinges are still in really good shape. Nothing to worry about there. But you can see there's a carpet back there. There's a missing carpet here. We never got it. I wish we had it, but we don't, unfortunately. Now, if I were to remove Augie's booster seat here, it's just simply removing. This is a JDM Recaro seat, which is really cool, the fact that Augie has that. But I'll sit back here so you can kind of get an idea. A 6 foot tall person, would it fit comfortably back here? I do have the top. I have to locate as to where that is, but the other seat has it. I mean, is it the most comfortable? No. Would I do a long trip back here? I don't think so. I mean, listen, if you got to do what you got to do. Ultimately, if you didn't have that car seat up front here, this seat actually does slide back and forth, which is really cool. And this seat does dump all the way forward to allow passengers to get into the rear if need be. Today, when I was cleaning this, I was like, I wonder what the heck these are for. And then I realized that you pull it off, you put them here, and those are covers for these things. I don't know why you would need that, but hey, engineers think of everything, and it's cool that they're stashed there. Both seats have it. To get these seats down, it's very similar to, what do you call that car? The Honda Element. See, you pull that leg out, let it down, tilt it up, and then it does lay down into bed mode if you really wanted it to lay down into bed mode. But you can get it to go up, you can get it to pitch back, so many different positions. Again, three humans are supposed to be able to fit back here. There is technically a seat. There is 3 separate seat belts. This is a lap belt. These are shoulder belts. You got one there, you got one here. Grab handles here, which is really great. Again, if you have kids, they're on boosters, these work really well. Unfortunately, when I got it, there is supposed to be kind of like an emergency kit. It did not come with an emergency kit there, which is kind of unfortunate. Here's that top I was talking about. It doesn't always snug into place correctly, which drives me nuts. 2 cup holders back here that, of course, are full of Legos. Thank you, Augie. And 1 cup holder back here with something to stash something here with. I don't know what that says. It's interesting. Yeah, these seats fully do remove, which is really nice. But again, I'm doing this all while being in the back seat over here. Push that down, grab that hook it up there, and that's not going anywhere. And then you ultimately have more room to do whatever it is that you need to do back here. And again, these seats come off. That's what this is for here. You pull that off, the whole thing comes out, and Bob's your uncle. Cool thing is, windows are push windows. That's a big plus. You can still get ventilation back here. All windows function, which is really nice. Again, AC vents, heat vents. What else can I tell you about the inside? I mean, other than this setup works. It works really well for us because our kids can get in the back, they can get in the middle, or they can get in the front. And probably 75% of the time, our kids are getting in through the front. Why, I do not understand, but they basically jump in through the driver's seat or the passenger seat, jump into the back, and jump into the very back. It's kind of crazy. Same thing with Lola, but I guess that's what it is. By all means, this car is literally all-terrain. It is the family mobile. It is meant to get us from point A to point B and to point Z, and we definitely use it. Some might say that we abuse it, but we use it, and we love it, and we will keep using it until it sells. And ultimately, that's one thing to think about, is like the kilometers will still keep going up. Overall, AC works really, really well. I was worried because it wasn't working when we first got it. I don't know why. Someone must have drained the system, but it blows ice cold, and I've had to not recharge it in the last almost 2 years since we've owned it. The door's pretty cool back here. It's got a little pocket right there, and then like a little pull out. Unfortunately, the staples kind of came off on that one. That's why you see like that bottom kind of popping out a little bit. Has its own reservoir for the wiper in the rear here, and then obviously your third brake light. Notable things that put LEDs on these lights here. What else can I tell you other than what I've already told you? Overall, I mean, I'm totally biased against this car. Look, I'm 6 feet tall, and I can sit up here with a little bit of headroom, you know, probably like an inch or two. But even sitting like this is actually quite comfortable right now. Very, very biased to this car because we daily drive it. This is the Mendy Mobile. This is what we use to go to and from everywhere. And we love it. We love it. If you didn't understand the reasoning is we want to get the boxier one, which is, I believe, the 70 series. I think they call this the 90 series. And we still want another Prado. It'll probably end up being the diesel, but the 3.0 instead of the 2.7 that they have. And I want to find it with the rear seats because ultimately this is the best. This is great. You can fit 8 people, not as comfortable. Like back here, once you close the door, you can fit groceries. You really can't fit a stroller. But in our setup right now with a family of 5, we put bikes in here, or the kids' scooters and stuff, or the groceries, and it works. It works just fine. And again, the dog sits in the middle here. If you have a little yapper, they can sit in the front. They can pretty much sit anywhere. I would drive this car to California tomorrow, no questions asked. And reason being is because if something did happen, parts are still available for it. You can still get them at most parts store, or you can order them and have them within a couple days, depending on what you need. As far as like the downsides of these covers, you can order seat covers. They come in black. I don't know if they come in this. If you know somebody that can fix that, I know that there's plenty of people that there's remedies for that. It can be fixed. It can be fixed. But overall, again, I give this a 7.5, which is pretty high in my opinion. Let's show you the underneath so you kind of get an idea of what the rust level is, because there is some rust. I won't deny that, but there isn't any crazy like rot or anything like that. Getting in and out isn't too crazy. And then we'll just put Augie's seat back here, loop that belt around the armrest, and then we're pretty much good to close the door. Again, really heavy duty door, very, very heavy door. But I guess we'll just start back here. We'll go underneath the car. The exhaust in great shape. You can start to see the areas that are notably, I guess, rusty or with surface rust. You know, nothing crazy. It does flake because it is flaking off. Like it's gotten to the point where the paint kind of has flaked off. I'll show you the pumpkin area here. Again, if you did fluid film, if you got rid of all the junk, like if someone needle beaded this off, it'll be perfect. I don't like to deny that there is no rust, because there is, but on the body itself, it still seemed. The frame itself has some surface rust, and I mean, one of the things that I thought about doing actually was adding a hitch to this. Ultimately, I never did. I thought about towing with it, which it does have a decent sized towing capacity to it, but I never got around to doing it. Let's show you the passenger, or the driver's side. The driver's side rear wheel well. I spoke about this when I did the brakes. You can kind of see the rust kind of forming on the frame area here, but it's still really thick, nothing crazy. These tend to rot out in a lot of different places, and for some reason this one has held up really well. Like when we open this door, there's just like the surface rust and a little bit here when it gets nicked, but nothing crazy. Underneath the doors is still pretty good. Let's lay under here, take a look at the driver's side. Still in pretty good shape. Nothing crazy as far as rot, just a lot of surface rust. You can see nothing really leaking under here, which is great. Again, if you wanted to get rid of the running boards, it's a couple bolts and you'll be good to go. Transfer case not leaking or anything. Let's shimmy our way down this way. Let's see, zoom in. Exhaust is in still pretty good shape. There's heat shields. A little bit of oil. It doesn't look like it drips or anything, but it's wet there. So I wonder if that's when we did oil changes. I'm not going to deny it. It looks like there's a little bit of a slight leak, and that could be from the valve covers. That tends to be the first thing that the valve covers go. I'll take a look to see if we can find replacement valve covers, gaskets. A little bit of surface rust there. Surface rust here. Nothing as far as rot, just rust. But nothing crazy. It's still in pretty good shape. Driver's side wheel well. Frame, and you can see the VIN on the frame. Zoom out a little bit. Just still pretty good shape. If we zoom out, again, just surface rust. Frame is still in good shape. Let's show you the very front. Underneath, That's probably rot. That's the worst of the rot that I see. And that you can either completely take off, or you can just, what's it called? Get a replacement one from the Tacomas or the Tundras that are out here. Nothing crazy. CB axles are still intact here. Same thing over here. No grease on the shocks, which is a plus. Let's take a look at this side. Same thing on this side. Nothing to note as far as suspension noises that would worry me at all. Let's look at the passenger side wheel well. Pretty great shape. Now you might be wondering, why am I showing you this? Well, if I would like $18,000 for this car, and if you're ready to pay $18,000, I would hope that you would want to see every nook and cranny that I'd be able to show you. And so that's why I do it. Show you the good, I show you the bad, I show you the pretty, I show you the ugly. But overall in great shape. It's funny how much of a dinky drive shaft this is. It's kind of nuts. And the transfer case. Overall great shape, nothing to worry about. Passenger side rear wheel well. Again, I showed that in my video when I was doing the brakes. Nothing crazy. Just surface rust. Again, fluid film, make sure it's clean. Don't drive it a ton on salty roads, and I think you'll be golden. Depending on where this goes. Again, a 7.5 in my opinion. What I'm gonna do now is just probably take a million photos of everything, and then I'll start the process of doing it with cars and bids, and then we'll kind of go from there. Some things I forgot to mention. It does have an automatic window for the driver's side, both up and down. So if you click up, click down, and then here's that rock chip. It's a little bit more noticeable in here. I never had it filled because it never expanded from that, and I feel like if you do get it filled, you have the potential of cracking it out. If you have a good glass guy that can do it, great. And then there's your corner mirror, which is really helpful when you're getting nice up and close to things to know where to go. And then your analog camera, so you can see it back there. As you're going back, the closer you get to things, that's when you know to stop. Other than that, I mean, I think I pretty much showed anything and everything with this. And I got a ton of pictures, so it'll get listed very soon. If you're watching the video, hopefully I'll have it listed before then. Let's see if I can get one cool picture with it. I just had to be that guy. There was a stump. Look how tucked this is right now. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. All right, I think that's where I'll end the video. I'm excited about it. Hopefully somebody gives us what it's really worth. This is really tall to get up in there. Holy cow. On that stump. Also, teeter-totters. But it's very capable. I'm not saying this just to try and sell you on it. I'm saying it because it is a very capable vehicle. So if you're interested, reach out. 203-940-1259. I can have it shipped anywhere. I could bring it to you. You can come get it. Let me know. Massachusetts title, ready to go. Hopefully somebody sees the value in this and knows that it's a really good deal. One more thing I forgot to add, not even ask, but add, and if you made it this far in the video, great for you. It means you're pretty committed to this, which is awesome. But we probably get anywhere from 14 to 18 miles to the gallon. I'll Google what it's supposed to be like, but it's not the greatest gas mileage. But you don't buy this car with the intention of having the greatest gas mileage. You buy this car because you know what it's capable of doing, and it's a tank, honestly. And it's fully stocked with the exception of the radio, maybe the rims and tires, and it's pretty much ready to go. Whether it's your family mobile or whether it's your overlanding rig or whatever you got plans with it. It's really nice. Anyways, this is really where I'll leave it.